Hello guys, Assalamualaikum warahmatullahi wabarakatuh. Nice to meet you. Firstly, I would like to introduce myself. My name is Sri Ramayati MPD. I am an English teacher in Senior High School 1 MAGETAN, East Java. Today, I would like to teach narrative text for 10th grade students. I hope all of you are in a good condition so you can follow my class until it finishes. Okay students, let's start our lesson. First, the basic competence of narrative text. The basic competence of narrative text differentiates social functions, text structure, and language features of narrative text. Next, the purpose or the objective of my teaching are 1. Identifying the social functions, generic structure, and language features of narrative text. 2. Understanding about generic structure of narrative text in asking and giving informations relating with legends. And last, understanding about language feature narrative text in asking and giving informations relating with legends. Okay students, now I will show you a video about narrative text. Enjoy and watch the video carefully.
In the faraway land, there was a man who named Magat. Magat was a handsome and strong-willed young man. Magat gets through the forest and
Swear to me that we won't meet every noon.
what is the reason why we don't meet every noon?
You broke your promise. I can no longer be happy. Thus, I must die now.
Okay students, after watching the video, there are some questions for you. The questions are 1. What does the story tell about? 2. Is it an imaginative or true story? 3. What is the purpose of the author makes story? 4. Who the characters in the story? 5. Where did the story happen? 6. What is the problem of the story? 7. Does have a message or moral value in the story? And last, what tense is used in the story? Okay, students, to help you answering the questions, let me continue my explanation about narrative text. The first is definition of narrative text. Narrative text is an imaginative story to entertain people. So, in Magat River legend, it is just an imaginative, not true story. The social functions of narrative story. There are three social functions of narrative story. One, to entertain the readers. In Magat River legend, the writer wants to entertain us. Two, to teach or inform. Magat River legend teaches us in order to we keep our promise. And third social functions is to change social opinion. Next, the generic structure of the text. The first, orientation. Second, complication. Third, resolution. And the last, reorientation. Okay, student, let me explain them one by one. First, orientation. Orientation sets the scene and introduces the participants. It answers the question who, when, what, and where. In Magat River legend, the characters were Magat and his crocodile wife. Where it happened? It happened in Vereland or Negeri Dongeng. Next. The next generic structure is complication. Complication tells the problems of the story and how the main characters solve them. This part includes situations, activities, or events that lead problem or complication to the climax. It shows when the crisis arrives. In Magat River legend, the complication is when Magat broke his promise not to meet his wife in the noon. So his wife turns once more into crocodile. Next, resolution. Resolutions when the crisis is resolved for better or worse. It shows the end of the story, usually a happy ending. But in Magat River legend, ended sadly, as we know that Magat and his wife were dead. Next, reorientation. Reorientation here optional. It means sometimes in narrative story there is a reorientation, but sometimes no reorientation. Reorientation is the ending of story. Next. The other generic structure of narrative text are evaluation and quote. Okay, let me explain them one by one. Evaluation optional. Evaluation, the step being paid to evaluate the story or the moral message of the story. In Magat River legend, message or the moral value is that we must keep our promise. Next. Quote. Quote means change of the characters or lesson of value of the story. Quote also optional. Quote in Magat River legend, when Magat drowned himself into the same stream where he first espied her. So the name of the Magat River is Magat. Next. Next, language features of the text. The narrative text use past tense. Action verbs to indicate the actions, such as stood, explained, provided, and smashed. Saying and thinking verbs to indicate what characters are willing, thinking, or saying, such as told, realized, decided. Adjective to build noun groups to describe the people, animals, or things in the story, such as a nice, diligent, and kind-hearted man. Time connectives and conjunctions to sequence events through time, such as however, although, later, and then. Adverbs and adverbial phrases to locate the particular events, such as once upon a time, long time ago. Well, students, after explaining about narrative text, I will give you an example about narrative text. Here, the example of narrative text. As we know, there are three columns here. The first columns about generic structure of narrative text, orientation, complication, resolutions, and reorientations. In the second columns, the text itself, and the third columns, language features. Okay, let's see one by one. Orientation, from the sentence, he left three children. The eldest was named Mambang Jasid, and the second was Putri Hijau, or the Green Princess. And the last one was Mambang Kayali. And then, complication, from the sentence, having heard the story, Sultan Muqayyad Shah then fall in love, even though the Sultan had never seen the princess face before. And so on. And resolution from the sentence and the chaotic situation, and so on until do anything. And resolutions in the last paragraph from he could only dream miss, and the last disappeared forever. Okay, now the language features of narrative text. There are some colors here. The pink color shows adverbial and adverbial phrases. Example, in case of your, interpellers, and so on. And then green shows time, connective, and conjunction. Example, when, because. And yellow color shows noun phrase. Example, a green light, his fissure, and so on. And red color shows saying and thinking verb. Example, said, considered, and so on. Okay? Okay, students, to measure your understanding about narrative text, I will give you a task. You can do it after this meeting. The task is find out a legend text, then analyze its generic structure and language features. Do like the example as I explained before. Okay, students, before closing this meeting, I will give you a good message. Recognize and love your local wisdom. One of them is the legend. By learning and loving the legend, you will get the moral value from it. You can choose which one is a good model and which one is a bad model. So you can take them in your life. Okay, students, thanks for your attention. See you again Wassalamualaikum warahmatullahi wabarakatuh.